Lisa tried to compromise. What if we say Native Americans discovered the Americas? They didn't, but it's closer to the truth than saying that Columbus did it. Lisa was new to the Lion Academy. She was born outside the block, but somehow ended up living inside it. The authorities discovered her and sent her to the Lion for reeducation. Mrs. Laggerty slapped the back of Lisa's already red and bruised left hand with a riding crop. The entire class had their non-dominant hand strapped to the top of their desk. It simplified the corrective action process. Mrs. Laggerty walked to the front of the room and said, "Class, let us examine and correct Lisa's statements." The class replied as a group, "Yes, Mrs. Laggerty." "Good. Now, class, what is truth?" The class replied, "Truth is what the block logic dictates truth must be." "Excellent," replied Mrs. Laggerty. "Now, why does the block logic dictate Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas?" In unison, "Because right of discovery dictates right of possession and ownership. The block owns the Americas. Christopher Columbus was an instrument of the block. Therefore, Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas." "Excellent, class." Mrs. Laggerty turned and addressed Lisa directly. "Now, who discovered the Americas?" Lisa, left hand red and bruised and bleeding now. "To the best of my knowledge, it was Proto-Europeans. They came across the ice sheet during the last ice age, although not in great enough numbers to establish permanent settlements." Mrs. Laggerty slapped Lisa's left hand with her riding crop 5 times, fast and hard. On the third strike, a bone snapped. Screams were not unusual at the Lion Academy and were ignored by everyone. Mrs. Laggerty continued, "Class, let us examine and correct Lisa's statement." Class, "Yes, Mrs. Laggerty." And so the days went for Lisa, and the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. As the months turned into a year, there was little left of Lisa's left hand. She could still move her left thumb and index finger. They were the only 2 digits that remained. There was a new student in class this week, Christopher, who, like Lisa, was born outside the block. All foreign children eventually ended up at the Lion. Mrs. Laggerty slapped Christopher's bruised and bleeding left hand with her riding crop. "Class, let us examine Christopher's statement." Class, "Yes, Mrs. Laggerty." "Good. Now first, what is truth?" The class, including Lisa, replied, "Truth is what the block logic dictates truth must be." Tears rolled down Lisa's cheeks. Mrs. Laggerty noticed her tears and chose to ignore them. Mrs. Laggerty continued, "Excellent. Now, why does the block logic dictate that slavery never existed in the Americas?" In unison, "The block owns everything within the block. The citizenry reside within the block, and therefore the block owns the citizenry. Then, by right of possession and right of ownership, a citizen cannot be owned by anyone except the block." Tears flowed, but Lisa said the words. She pressed the tip of her left thumb and index finger together, over and over, exercising them. She was regaining some functionality. Mrs. Laggerty replied, "Excellent, class." She held her riding crop in her strong right hand. As she walked past Lisa's desk, she stroked Lisa's hair once affectionately, with the 3 fingers that are all that remain of her left.